Merry Christmas!
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, we are not monsters. We are not actually recording on Christmas Day when this comes out, but it was pre-recorded, so we're in the spirit. But welcome back to another episode of the Elevated Marketing Podcast, where we try to simplify complicated digital marketing topics to help your business grow. I tried to get that out as fast as I could because I was like, we gotta get back to the Christmas. So hopefully we're off like opening presents and doing all that fun stuff. So about to have a new year. I know it's tradition for, what are you gonna do differently for the year? And I'm going to go first. Give yourself a little bit of time to think because you may or may not have thought of this because I have a policy on this, a thought process, an opinion. It's not, although like the calendar year is like switching over, I feel like that if you only analyze one time a year, what you're going to do different for the next year, that it's like setting out all these really big goals and not breaking them down into bite size, and this is why everybody gives up when it gets to like February or March. You're like, oh, that was fun. And because you're not consistently like breaking down steps. And so I don't like to look at this is what I'm going to do different next year. I think that's something that you have to consistently be like, okay, I learned this. I'm going to do this different. I learned this. I'm going to do this different. And not look at the entire year and then just be like, okay, well, in February that didn't work. I tried. So, as much as like I'm gonna play along, that everybody else is like, what are you gonna do differently? We're just taking a snapshot right now. Like, what are you going to do differently, Brenna?
Well, first, I agree with you on all of that. I've always thought that. I think more for me, like going in, what I just want to, something I want to practice more is just like kind of, I guess, mindfulness of where I'm at presently and like living in the moment and all. I think just reminding myself, like,
Yeah.
look at what's right here in front of you. Stop looking way ahead. Like,
Yeah.
for this moment, just what are you doing? Where are you?
And it's not bad to look ahead, but
Right.
like no matter where you snap things at, like it's temporary.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoy it or past it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pull your pants up.
Yeah. I think I'm always looking ahead so far though, because I'm planning way ahead. And then I look back and I'm like, oh, like the year's almost over. Like, you know what I mean? And so, yeah.
Well, I mean, you could also be like, well, life is almost over. You're not guaranteed tomorrow,
Right.
So, yeah, all the things. But we chose to talk about email marketing today.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as much as AI was a part of 2024, we saw a lot of people get super excited about email marketing. And I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
because it's the one audience that you do, in fact, own. All the rest of them, all these platforms own that, or your mailing list, like if you're physically like mailing things, or you own your client list that you want to go after, or you own your existing clients. And so I think we need to talk about like the trends and technologies to really pull into 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Already doing and kind of incorporate that all together. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, and I think majority of this list are things that we have started doing, and so we can speak from experienced non-existence. I'm still living mindfully. We can speak from experience on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with AI, we've seen the mass production in content, and I think some of that has translated into email marketing.
Yeah.
There's definitely been an increase in emails, but also on, say, LinkedIn, for example, you're probably getting more notifications that a newsletter was published or an article was published. There's just definitely more content notifications being sent out.
Like one more notification, I'm gonna lose my that goes back to our previous show and creating value before you send it out. And as you have an email that you want to send out, did you create value? Because what's going to happen is you're going to have a higher spam rate. And you might be like, well, why? Why won't people just unsubscribe? Because it's super easy in an inbox to hit spam and stop getting the crap that you're sending than it is to hit unsubscribe and go through the process. So, we as marketers, we're like, oh, we'll make it super hard, or even the people who are like Gmail, hello, I'm calling you out, or Microsoft, it's much easier to hit spam than it is for me to hit unsubscribe. Now, there are some that will allow you to unsubscribe directly from the inbox, but there's some that don't. And so I'm saying all this because if you have a high spam rate, then your email ain't making their inbox regardless. So you just wasted all that time and it was completely.
Yeah. Well, and what goes along with these spam rates too is the lack of domain verification. This year we saw that due to privacy laws and just things changing in the privacy world, you had to go through a process to verify your domain. If you didn't, your emails are either going straight to spam or, as you were saying, it's easier to click spam rather than unsubscribe because a lot of times it's coming from an external domain, and you'll get this notification at the top that says, warning, spam, and then you can click, yes, it's spam, or no, it's not. And so spam rates are increasing because of that. A lot of people maybe weren't aware of this switch and the domain verification process. Some platforms made it easier to do than others. That definitely contributes to the spam.
And you're just annoying and making your person that you're trying to talk to, you're just contributing to the spam. So, yeah. So let's talk about though, some of the dynamic content generation that AI can generate different subject lines and bodies of text and entire campaigns. What do you think about that?
Yeah, as with AI and the content production and any format that we get from AI, I think it's a great resource, and I think it can be helpful, but I don't know that I would solely rely on it and let it do its thing in real time in your email marketing. I know last podcast you had brought up a good point of, well, this is what AI says, so how can I do it differently? And I think that's still a good principle to bring into this.
If you just kind of go hands off and think that you're just going to be able to automate your marketing, I'm tongue in cheek here. There are definitely some automations that you should do when it comes to email marketing. But automating some of that can go sideways really quickly without some oversight. That, okay, somebody should have got that, and then you're going to irritate who you're talking to. And I think there's a lot of overselling of platforms. So tired of seeing the word AI put in front of everything. And I know we did
Yeah.
that at the show, but it's like, okay, is it really AI or was that marketing speak?
Right. Well, and I think where it does go sideways, and it can go sideways easily, is when you're letting AI produce the actual words that your recipients are going to see. The automations are one thing, and like you're saying, we love automations. We love doing that sort of thing. There is oversight there. But when it comes to the actual words, the messaging, the language, the content that's being put into these emails or subject lines
Yeah.
that's coming from AI, that's where it can go sideways because it will not sound like you, probably. It may not even make sense. I mean,
Might
yeah.
not sound like your brand. Like, but there
Yeah.
are so like behavioral triggers that, AI is picking
Mhm.
up on. And AI is just artificial intelligence, like in the sense that it knows you did this, this, and that. So let's put them into this box and let's send them this specific message because it's quote unquote evergreen. And no matter what, because they've done this, this, and this, I should send them that message. But if you're not thinking about all of that and all of a sudden you're like, well, I sent them 17 emails this week and they're not opening any of them. I don't know why. Like, because you've got all these behavioral triggers set up and you're not thinking through the life cycle of the customer journey. Now that takes time to think through that.
It does. What I do like of that aspect, though, is some of the predictive analytics we can get, but also the list that AI can create for you. But the thing is, that's not really anything new. We've seen that for a long time. It's just now being labeled as AI produced.
There's that
And
mark.
right, exactly, exactly. And it is helpful. And you can create campaigns solely based around these lists that are produced for you.
Yeah,
It's people that's already in your contact list, but it's broken down and segmented based on their behavior.
yeah. Let's talk about like some things that maybe you did or didn't do in emails that, we should be doing, interactive
Hmm.
emails. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we did play around with some interactive elements this year, mainly consisting of basically countdowns. So if you have an event coming up, using a countdown for that. Um, I think that goes over well because of the world we live in with video. If you're including some sort of movement in your email marketing, it will help create some more engagement.
You did some automations of some quizzes.
Hmm.
You did some connections of social media. I
Yeah.
think about our real estate school where we did that. We did some gamification, some, different things that made people want to interact with. You even put like some video directly in the email. And so the goal was to get them to watch the video because we knew it was a longer sales cycle. And I think there was a lot of those things that made the email fun.
Yeah. Well, it does switch it up. I think a lot of times people are used to getting an email and it's just like chunks of text and maybe a couple of images. And when you do change it up in that sense, you'll definitely get more engagement from that. Um, yeah, I mean, it's all about just adding some variation and again, setting yourself apart from others in these inboxes.
Yep, yep. You could also like integrate some voice. So maybe
Yeah.
you have a podcast
Yeah.
or one idea is to use, Google's new tool with, help me out with it. Is it Google Notebook, I believe? Um,
Yeah.
and you're creating some audio clips on some like complicated subjects and you're adding that and it helps break it down. We've done that this year with like an IT firm and putting that into email so that it's more easily digestible to, yeah, that makes sense. I'm a busy business owner, but I need some IT service and I need to understand that, it can do this and it can do that.
Yeah. Well, I think people are used to receiving an email and saying, oh, read more, learn more from our most recent blog post or
Yeah.
whatever. And so when you do throw in like that audio bit, it's just another form of learning. And we know people like different forms of learning. So it's just bringing that into your email marketing.
Yep. Yep. I think we saw this year and we'll continue to see the privacy and data compliance. I think, we'll continue to see like stricter regulations on being able to send emails to people. And I think we're going to see a bigger crackdown that we've already saw because of the ability to use different tools. We saw some automations taking place in like maybe in people's LinkedIn like boxes, and which is another kind of form of email. And
Yeah.
we saw people lose complete access to their LinkedIn because of that. Like, gotta be careful.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway from privacy and data compliance is being transparent and getting those double opt-ins. So maybe, for example, if you've got someone on your website and they're filling out, say, a basic contact us form, they're going to have their email in there. Hopefully you're asking for that. But at the very bottom, you should always have the sign up for our newsletters. And it's just a checkbox for them to check. Yes, I want in. Yes, I don't. And I think that's super important to have because it will help decrease those spam rates or even unsubscribes. And yeah, it's just like that, focusing on that trust factor, being transparent.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's two more. I know we've been talking for a minute, but I think we have to talk about social proof and user generated content. And then we just need to talk about like integrating with broader like marketing ecosystem. So
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah, the social proof and user generated content, that can be as simple as including testimonials inside of your email. That is certainly one thing that we introduced this year for a lot of our clients. And it's again just that trust factor and another way to get some of your user generated content into your email marketing.
Focus heavily on that this year of how
Yeah.
that user generated content, and we wrote a whole blog post on that. And
Mm-hmm.
just to be fair and honest and out there, it ain't easy.
No, it's not.
It takes a lot of effort, and you're asking people to join in on that brand, and they have to actually care. So, as much as you want to like simplify it, as much as there's some AI tools to create fake user generated content, like I would not go there if I was you.
No. I absolutely agree. It completely tears away any of the credibility that you've built up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think another aspect, though, too, with like the social proof is highlighting anything that you did to involve yourself in your community. We do that a lot with ourselves, but also our client. If you attended an event or you sponsored something, that's just kind of going back to the personal content and pulling that into email marketing. People like to see that. They like to see that you're involved. And again, if it can kind of go back to that trust factor and that authenticity.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've definitely, if you're part of an event and you're sponsoring an event, like seeing if there's some sort of member to member like email that you can generate to go out there so that you have that brand recognition when you're out having conversations with people is super important. And that is just email marketing. And when you look at the open rates of that type of marketing, it's pretty good. And then they start recommending, or they start like understanding who you are and what you do. It's like planting these little seeds and marketing and getting over the fact of like it's just not instantaneous. brings me to the integration with like broader marketing ecosystems, right? So what do you think there?
Yeah, we played with this, and it's not necessarily anything new, but just kind of this cross-channel marketing
Oh,
with email marketing specifically. We had a quiz for one of our clients that we used inside of some Facebook ads. Involved in that is getting their email, sending them their results type thing. It can definitely help build a list when you use multiple channels to involve that with your email marketing.
you also involved a CRM system where there were people that were had not bought yet, and you were sending them emails prior to them buying with like an automation series to kind of nurture that lead and
Yeah.
then hand them off. We worked with, let's see, a healthcare company on that. We worked with a
Mhm.
fencing company on that. Um, you also did some like cross-channel syncing where we uploaded email list into social media platforms for
Yes.
social ads, and we did some of that. You worked with a limo company in order to do text message marketing, that, hey, we got a new website.
Mhm.
um, you worked like with the content. I mean, you already do the content, but like
Mhm.
you're tying that content, like, hey, this is content that I need for SEO, but I also need for social, but I also need for email marketing. Like you tied that all together with what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Well, and it's a good reminder when, for me, when I'm working through email marketing, or they're always called email marketing campaigns. And that word right there, campaigns, it's just a
Yeah.
good reminder that all marketing is working together. All of these platforms are working together. And so when you've got a campaign, it really should be in sync on all channels. That's kind of a off tangent, but
No, it's completely relevant. And I mean,
yeah, yeah.
it's where a campaign might be like supporting a certain, like, I don't know. We should probably just do a show on campaigns.
Yeah.
What those are. Note to self, add it to the schedule. Okay, so I know we talked all about email marketing. It's one of your favorites.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything?
Um, I think with email marketing, because it's been around for so long, it is important to try some new things and kind of keep up with the times and don't get into the habit of doing the same thing over and over and over. Refresh what your email looks like, bring something fresh and new to inboxes. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed listening, join our email list. You can either join over on the website, or you can go over to LinkedIn and follow Jennifer Denny, and you can join on the LinkedIn newsletter. And yeah, we wrap all that up, and hopefully it's helpful information. And also, if you like enjoy the show, you can also rate and review on the podcast listener that you're listening to. So, all right, take care, everybody. And I guess maybe don't do what everybody else is doing and coming up with your own, like, this is what I'm going to change. That's my plea. All right, take care.